Hi guys, hope you're all well. As requested, I'm going to go over what I'm seeing for GBPJPY. So if we zoom out, if we go on the daily, so there is strong buys, but by the looks of this the highest high and the second highest high, it looks like they've literally just swept the liquidity just to take all the stop losses out on the daily, and then they're just going to start selling off. So I'm going to actually take a sell bias on this. So then we drop down on a 4 hour, see where we're at. So we've actually, so the high that created the low is, if I can get this, is that high created the lowest point up until this one. So we broke that one. So if we drop a line in there, and you've also got another break. So that area's broke quite a bit. So I'm definitely strong sells on this. So if we zoom into the last impulse of the sell, so at the minute, you've got this order block here. It's the last blue candle, well, the last bull candle blue for me, before the big sell-off. And you've also got the little break there. So it's actually caused quite a few breaks. So this to me is a nice area to look for sells, but we don't just stick to the 4 hour. We will drop, we're actually buying into it. And you can tell the way we're buying into it is because from this area here, let me just get the brush. Yep. So that's a rubbish arrow, but you get the idea. So from that candle there, that was a push down. That was the last impulse down, the small impulse down. And then we broke through that. So I believe we're actually buying into an area to sell. So that's when you're here, you buy to sell and you sell to buy and whatnot. So if we drop down to the 15-minute, we have some more, hopefully you guys are following this. If I'm going too fast or anything, then just drop a comment on below, and I'll on the next videos, and that'll slow it down a bit. So this is a strong. This looks like a news reaction here, and as you can tell, it's actually took this. It's took the high from here, so it's took some only a few by the looks of it. To be honest, it's only tapped in a couple of pips, if that. So it's took the liquidity from above there. It's then dropped down. It's then dropped down into your discount area, which is the bottom 50%. So we know that it's ready to buy back again. So we know, if we have a look at this, so the last little up thrust was these few candles there. If I zoom into that a bit, you can see that. The last up thrust that took the high, this is on a 15-minute, was these three candles, especially that one, that little white one that set it up to impulse up, and it's reacted off that. But this impulse here, normally when there's an impulse that looks this strong, I will definitely wait for confirmation on a lower time frame. So I am actually still waiting for this to break. If this sells without me, I'm fine. It's not a trade. It's just a trade you've missed. You've not lost out on anything. So I'm actually looking for this to smash through this, break through that. If we retrace back and then we keep going up there, let's just zoom out a bit so you can get a bit of an idea. This would ideally be this is the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour 4 hour supply area. It's on there somewhere there, yeah. So I'd be looking for that to tap into that, because then if you go back on the 4 hour, you see you've got the imbalance, and the market likes to fill imbalance. So all this area here, let me get the arrow a bit easier. So that area is in balance. There's no wicks that have gone into that area just yet, which means this could almost act as a double top. some retail traders will think that's a double top. That's why I try and trade smart money. So we take out all the double tops, the triple tops, your trend lines, you take all them out. So we take the double top out. Just ignore the update. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm waiting for it to get to that 4-hour area to sell. So if we drop down the 15-minute, soon as it comes near to this area, let me get rid of this messy line. I would be expecting price, and I'll only enter with confirmation. So say we've broke through this zone, we're doing a couple of retraces, blah, blah, blah. So we tap in, then we sweep the tap. Most of the time you sweep the tap, and then you tap deeper into the order block, and then we take out the last low that create the high, and then we retrace, and then we enter there. And you can actually drop down to 1 minute if you want, but I've started to just enter on the 15 minutes just to keep a bit more emotion out of it. So as you can see, let's whack some lines on here. So that will almost be, that line there will almost be the early smart money sellers, which then get took out by this impulse here. So once that impulse takes out the stop losses of the early sellers, it taps in to a smaller order block, which might be on a 1 minute or even a 5-15 second order block. And then we take that out. Once that area of demand has been took out, we know that the sellers are in control. And then you can almost set 50% of the retrace and then drop your sell in there. But if you wanted to be really clever about it, then you could go down to the I'll get the circle up somewhere here. So this area here, move that over a bit. So that area, let's move it over here, and this is what it will look like on the 1 minute. So this area is the 15-minute. And then if you want to get really, really clever with it, you can drop down to the 1 minute or the 2 minute. It's the same on each time frame. The candles will do the same. So let me. So that's come into it. So if you can imagine this area on the right is the same area as the left, but obviously the area on the right is the 1 minute. You've zoomed in. Then you're waiting for the same again. You'll find another order, a smaller order block that's reacting, and then you're waiting for it to take out the demand, and then you know you're selling, and then that's where you get the big drops. So if I just drop some, when I can find it. Oh, where's it gone now? Here we are. So this area on the 15-minute on the left of your screen, that's tapped into an order block that would be probably a 1 minute order block, to be fair, 1, 2, 3 minute order block. You get to know kind of there might be a cluster of candles. So if there's a cluster of candles that you think is an order block, if you go up the next stage of time frame, more than likely it'll all merge into one and it'll be a bit clearer as an order block. So anyway, on the 1 minute on the right here, you've got a little order block here that you can tell is a buy candle before the sell. You then drop your rectangle tool across, and you wait for a reaction there. And then soon as your early sell liquidity has been took, and then your demand area, which is the bottom just there, as soon as that's been took out, you can enter. And then this is where you get you can have a ridiculous size SL there. I don't go smaller than a 2 to 3 pip SL. Most of the time I try and stick with like a 7, between a 7 and a 10 just to be safe, but you can do that. So this area on the right, if you put that exact setup on the left that you've jumped down, it looks something like this. And then you can almost go for the low of the overall trend, this is where people get big numbers, because as you can see, if you go to the last down here, if you go to the last kind of sell candle before the buy. That is a 42R. And yes, this won't happen on every trade, but the main thing is with the market is if you just take money from it, like you haven't got to be the best trader in the world. You've not got to, you're not going to earn the most out of one bloody trade or anything. You've just got to take money from the market. You only need 1% a week to make a living on the market. So just make sure you take money from it. So I'll just go over everything. Hopefully it's clear. I know I might have spoken a bit too fast on it. So we know that the daily look like it, just because it's not broke it too much. It almost looks like a sweep, and a sweep is literally just to take the liquidity. So that's telling me sells. And in fact, if I just jump on the 4 hour, I've just noticed something now. If you jump on the 4 hour and we just zoom out a little bit, now to all you retail traders out here, you would be setting a trend line almost up, pretty much there. And as you can see, smart money, the banks and all the big establishments have took out your trend line, making you think we're buying, but then all of a sudden it drops. So if you're ever in a trade where it's going one way and then it takes you out and then it goes and then it sells and you think what's happened, it's the big boys of the market. They've took you out, they've took your money and they've run basically, and then it sells off and you're sat there pissed off basically that it went the direction you wanted. But why? What went wrong? It's smart money's taking you out. That trend line is lovely for them. They can just take your money and then sell. Because then by that point your emotions are you don't know if to jump in on a sell, you don't know if it's still going to buy. So then it throws people off. So hence why I'm definitely sells now. And you can see the while we've got the 4 hour up, you can see the potential of percent. If you're risking 1% for this trade here, and you go just to the low, you've got 42R there. You can effectively, what I like to do personally is I like to just drag it out as much as I can and just trail stop loss. And if any emotion comes into it, just take your money. Just take your money, clear the charts, and just be happy that you've took a percent, 1, 2, 3, 4, however much. As long as you've took money from the market, be happy about it. You're a great trader. If we drop down to the 15 minutes, so as you know, that's the 4 hour supply area. You can refine it if you want, but I'll do that on different videos. So I'm waiting for it to jump into this 15-minute area. I want it to create a high, then take the high out, then break the low to show that we're sells. And then when it retraces back, we jump down to the 1 minute, as you see on the right here. Voice is going. Must be this cold. Yeah, and then you do the same again. You let it take the high out, and then you let it take the low that create the high, if that makes sense. And then you drop in, and you can have a reasonably tight SL. If you're worried about your SL, then just enter on the 1 minute, but cover the 15 minute, if that makes sense. Yes, it means your RR is less, but you're covered. You're covered a bit more, and with the emotion side of it, it might be better. Depends how you are, if you're an aggressive trader or if there's emotions involved anyway. So, but yeah, so as you can see, that's what I'm thinking. It might do the total opposite. Unfortunately, one thing with the market is we don't know. You're not always, well, you're never going to know where the market goes. You can only do your analysis and kind of hope it goes the way you say it will. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I'd love any comments or any comments on the Instagram page at the Rule of 7. If you can like and follow, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, if you let me know what you think.